Yes, we come to the last part of this history of makeup chapter. ये काफी बड़ा chapter था, almost 85 slides. So we are into the 1980s now. So in 1980s, the punk look gave way to the gothic look, with faces being painted white once more, heavy dark eye makeup and hair being gelled to make it stick up. So in 90s, 1980s में क्या था, थोड़ा punk style look था. You can remember, if you can remember the movies of Rekha and Hema Malini and all, they also used to have these kind of makeups. But there was, the gothic look was no more there. What is gothic look? If you want more elaborate answer, अगर gothic makeup look का आपको पता नहीं है, तो just Google for gothic makeup look. Pinterest पे जाइए, आपको काफी सारे pictures मिलेंगे about gothic makeup. With faces being painted white once more. So थोड़ा सा 80s में क्या हो गया था? In Hollywood, थोड़े से makeup bright होना शुरू हो गया था. Dark eye makeup and hair being gelled to make it stick up. So gel was in existence. Market में gel आया था and it used to style the hair sticking up. The rest of population conformed to a different fashion. Hairstyles became big for women to match their expensive designer clothes with large shoulder pads. Waves of fashion sought to create past styles such as 1940s. Very important. So rest of population ने क्या किया? They had some different fashion. Now these notes are more of the Western culture notes, but you could see this fashion in the Indian industry as well. Hairstyles became big for women. So we also had, as I explained in the earlier chapter or the earlier part also, part 2 and part 3, if you have not watched it, that even Sharmila Tagore and Rekha had all these big updos. Then expensive designer clothes with large shoulder pads. So this was in Europe also, and now in India also, like we depicted that culture. Waves of fashion sought to create past styles such as 1940s. So क्या हो रहा था? Wave of fashion sought to create past styles. Past styles repeat होने लगे. 1940s के styles repeat होने लगे. A unique style was the fashion for heavy ungroomed eyebrows for women. A look started by an actress called Brooke Shields, who had naturally heavy eyebrows. So those who have witnessed that era, Brooke Shields का आपको पता होगा कि how beautifully they used to groom themselves. मतलब इतना salon upgraded नहीं था, या there were not so many hair colors in existence. अभी तो technology भी बहुत advanced है, but just with makeup, hair and beautiful features, these people have rocked the television and film industry. The makeup became quite strong for women, with blusher being swept across the top of cheekbones. For a while, pink was used on eyelids. So you can see the kind of makeup. Nobody was following the crease line as we follow it now. Everything was going up to the eyebrow, the darker shades as well. Men's hair became short again. In 1950s hairstyles in fashion, the 80s were boom years, and the young business people called yuppies tended to be materialistic, spending their money lavishly on their clothes and grooming. So salons came into existence gradually and people started spending. However, the boom finished with the decade and the whole world plunged into recession. Okay, so even fashion is affected by recession. Okay. The 90s, nostalgia became popular, with fashion adopting looks from past decades, revamping and adopting them as its own. So 90s, we have also witnessed some very good English movies and Hindi movies also. And you can see the fashion being depicted and inspired in the Indian Bollywood industry as well, from Hollywood. The model on the catwalks went swiftly through 1960s revival at beginning of 1990s, bringing false eyelashes back into fashion. So false eyelashes also came back into fashion again in 1990s. Eyebrows were shaved off for a while and line penciled in, but this did not catch on with the general public. Okay, so now general public was not just catching up with the trend of anything, kuch bhi kar rahe, or ट्रेंड कैचअप हो रहा है, ऐसे नहीं हो रहा था. द ग्रंज लुक विथ अनमेड अप फेसेस एंड अनटाइडी हेयर बिकेम पॉपुलर विथ यंग पीपल. सो लिटिल मेस्ड अप लुक. आज भी मेसी हेयर स्टाइल्स, मेसी बन्स आर वेरी कॉमन. Even messy haircuts are very common. So it's still the in thing. There have been 30s and 50s revivals too. So 1930s and 50s में भी revival था, changes थे. Hairstyles have ranged from elegant unswept chignons to braided chignons to braided plaits and layered bobs, reminiscent of past era. So क्या हो गया था? कम हो गया था ब्रेड्स, प्लेट्स, लेड बॉब्स, और थोड़ा सा रिपीट भी होते दिखाई दिया. सो 30s एंड 50s में क्या हुआ? रिवाइवल्स हुए थोड़े. हेयर स्टाइल्स रेंज फ्रॉम एकदम एलिगेंट टू अच्छे से शिनगॉन्स, ब्रेडेड प्लेट्स, लेड बॉब्स दिखने लगे वापस. ओके, सो इट्स ऑल अप एंड डाउन इन 1900. इट्स आई थिंक रिविजन ऑफ पास्ट 200 years. One fashion unique of the first half of 90s was the fashion of large lips. Yes, so people used to outline, like ombre lips is not new at all. I remember we doing it in the college between 1994 to 1998, 2000, when I was in college. So we used to outline the lip with a darker brown pencil and, add little vibrant color inside. So ombre lips is not at all new. बस थोड़ा इवॉल्व हुआ है. Not only did the famous models overpaint their mouth to look as large as possible, but some had silicone injections to give a particularly swollen look to upper lip. Here Botox and fillers came in the scene. इंडिया में इतना फिर भी पॉपुलर नहीं था. इंडिया में थोड़ा 2000 के बाद पॉपुलर हुआ, बट उसके पहले 10 साल पहले it was there in the international market for the lip fillers. When choosing cosmetics, many people have gone back to ancient times when the pigments used were derived from plant extract. So आपने देखा होगा लिप टैटू भी करते हैं, लिप कलर भी करते हैं. So everything is back. A popularity of homeopathic medicine has helped to promote a preference of natural based products. So a lot of product companies ने क्या किया? Homeopathy natural based भी लिया है उनके skin care and makeup में. On the whole, the fashion in makeup and hair is based on natural look. So the trend has changed. Rather than showing up too much of that white makeups and too much of elaboration, people are going back to minimal is the best, like sleek buns, soft curls, and nice and natural makeup. This is achieved through a more skillful application of face paint than in past. So moreover, like most of the people abhi bhi जब ब्यूटीफुल यू कैन से द ब्यूटी मेकअप या क्लासिकल मेकअप के लिए लोग आते हैं, लाइक ब्राइडल्स, प्री वेडिंग फंक्शंस एंड ऑल, पीपल वांट अ नाइस सटल नेचुरल लुक. नाउ अडैप्टिंग फैशन मेकअप टू पीरियड स्टाइल्स. Some faces adapt easily to period styles. You will often hear a makeup artist remark that a certain actress has a period face. Means what? I did one model in between and I was like, wow, you should be chosen in some British movie wherein they show, that era of 20s or 30s with those nice pin curls and all. And she really carried that kind of face. So आप ऐसे नहीं कर सकते कि किसी भी फेस पे ये पीरियड मेकअप कर सकते. There are certain faces chosen for a certain period of makeup, like Egyptian era, Greek era, whatever era you want to depict in the movie. It is not always possible in period productions for TV and films to reproduce faithfully the correct historical look. So हमेशा possible नहीं है, but ये एक separate list रहता है within the film industry, wherein when they take the auditions and all, they have this list ready. The effect may be distracting. क्या होता है? अगर आपका फेस वैसे मैच नहीं हो रहा है with the makeup, with the entire theme and concept of the shoot या movie, whatever, the effect may be distracting or considered too ugly relative to the current fashion. Often it is necessary instead to indicate the period by conveying the feeling of look. For example, in the Restoration period, white head paint was used as a base. You could use a cream pan stick for a heavy, authentic look, but it might be necessary to use a thin pale liquid base so that the effect was not too theatrical. Pure white is often a problem for lighting, making it necessary to use a beige or cream base instead. So in case you are showing, depicting some era, and वहां पे आपको काफी ऑथेंटिक लुक देना, you can't do it contemporary, you have to do is period makeup या historical, then this pure white thing if you are using, तो ये कुछ भी है ना, ऐसे नोट्स में से आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा, कितना भी मैं लेक्चर दूं. You, whenever you're working with such production house, what you have to do is you have to first give them a lot of trials, and they will adjust as per अपने कलर थियोरी का. अगर मेकअप कलर थियोरी का वीडियो नहीं देखा है तो प्लीज वॉच, it is on my YouTube channel also, and it is there in our LMS system for the Cidesco Makeup Student also, so please watch that. What I have said is there are two types of color wheels, one for the screen and one for makeup artist and जो palette पे काम करते हैं. So all these colors should be matching with the screen and the adjustment of their contrast and tones and everything. You cannot take a call just reading the notes या with your past experience. तो overall एक क्या कह सकते हैं, ओवरऑल इफेक्ट में वो कैसे दिखता है, यू हैव टू सी दैट. सो ओनली नोट्स वोंट हेल्प यू, यू विल हैव टू क्रिएट. सिमिलरली इफ द पीरियड लुक इंक्लूड्स plucked eyebrows but the current fashion is for natural heavy brows, then the audience would not want the leading actress to look bizarre even if her makeup were historically correct. So आपका historically correct हो सकता है makeup, but आपको ना आपका जो the entire undercurrent of production जो है, cinematography, जो भी आप किसी वेब सीरीज पे काम कर रहे हो, आप मूवी के लिए काम कर रहे हो, it should not look like ये क्या है, मतलब historical है but she is looking very ugly. Everything has to go perfect. It is not just makeup, even the costumes and the backgrounds and foregrounds, everything has to match. All right. So आप ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते why all these things are important. ये lecture इतना important क्यों है मेकअप आर्टिस्ट के लिए, क्योंकि आप बस मैंने मेरा काम कर लिया और मैं बाजू में बैठ गई या मैं बैठ गया, ऐसे नहीं हो सकता. You have to be continuously involved in it. इंडिया में एक ही मुझे मेकअप आर्टिस्ट जो पता है, नॉट प्रोस्थेटिक, बट विक्रम गायकवाड़ सर इज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट मेकअप आर्टिस्ट इन इंडिया who has created wonders in historical makeup for India. Recently he did the Kapil Dev movie also. You should see the makeup and you should read more about Vikram Gaikwad sir. Is an amazing makeup artist. A little bit of prosthetics but more of उनका जो understanding है, Ambedkar and Gandhi and Savarkar, all these movies would not have happened if this person would have been in India. So an amazing artist, and hats off to his knowledge and experience. So you should see the way he works. I had there was a time when he used to take seminars and all. I'm talking about the early 2000, between 1994 to 2000. We have attended his lot of seminars, and he used to show makeup with different muds, like how historically people used to do. Amazing artist to be with. अगर आपको चांस मिलता है उनको मिलना या उनसे कुछ सीखना है तो विक्रम गायकवाड़ सर से जरूर आप कुछ सीखिए. It is best to convey the look of times using a softer version of a period rather than the harsh reality. So this is a small tweaking आपको बताया गया है. अगर आप एक complete perfect look नहीं दे सकते हो वो era का, but don't make it look too harsh. Make it a little softer version because people prefer a softer version than a harsh one. An example of this can be seen in the film Gone with the Wind, when the makeup and hair are in 1930s when the film was made, adapted to 1970s, the supposed period of film. So as you watch classic period films, study the hair and makeup and try to work out when the films were made. So आप अगर ऐसे प्रोडक्शन हाउस के साथ काम करना चाहते हो या आप ऑलरेडी काम कर रहे हो, आस्क देम, उनको पूछो कि रेफरेंस के लिए ना मुझे ऐसे मूवीज बताइए, एंड गो एंड वॉच दोज मूवीज once for story, once for costume, once for makeup, once for cinematography. The more you will watch, जितना आप ज्यादा देखोगे ना, you will absorb lot of things in makeup and hair and the overall depiction of the story. The Victorian period is easy for this. The actor should look as if she is not made up at all, as makeup was not supposed to be worn. The facial hair on the men and the women's hairstyles are more important in conveying the historical look. So आप यहाँ देख सकते हैं, not too much of liners. She's already fair with light eyes, a little oranges lipsticks, but you can see the hair. Yeah. So actors must be comfortable in their roles. Remember, for example, that in 1940s, not every man had a mustache. On the other hand, if the actor is meant to be an RAF pilot, he will be more believable with a mustache, since this was certainly fashionable at the time, especially amongst air crew. Wherever possible, do try to get the period right. So whatever you are working with, जो भी movie में, serial में आप काम कर रहे हो, make sure that you do in-depth study. Ask for help. Ask cinematographers, ask directors, ask the people who are working. There is a research team also. आप किसी movie देखने जाते हो ना, तो बाद में जो नाम आते हैं वो थोड़ा पढ़िए आप, उसमें आपको समझ में आएगा कि there is such a huge research team working behind a movie, behind a web series or a stage show. Like if you come from any which state, I don't know, you are hearing this, आप कौन से state से ये lecture सुन रहे हो, but I am based in Maharashtra in Pune, and we used to have this Shivaji Maharaj big drama in the city, and everybody used to dress up in makeup and all so well. There was a huge makeup team, huge drapery team. Then there was one show on Nyaneshwar Maharaj, who was a वेरी वेल नोन सेंट इन महाराष्ट्र. सो आप भी आपके जो स्टेट में ऐसे शोज रहेंगे विच इज डिपिक्टिंग योर कल्चर, जस्ट गो एंड वॉच देम. इससे क्या होता है, आपका ना एक नॉलेज बढ़ता है, एक ऑब्जर्वेशन बढ़ता है. एंड एज आई सेड, गो एंड विजिट लॉट ऑफ म्यूजियम्स, आर्ट फिल्म्स, थिएटर्स. ये आपका काम शुरू रखो ताकि आप अच्छे से ये कॉन्सेप्चुअल मेकअप में काम कर सकोगे. I hope all these 4 sessions are helpful for your Cidesco exams in history of makeup. I'll be adding more lectures to our LMS system of different eras all around the world. Thank you for watching this, and I'll see you in the next video.